still on the lead lap?
Still on the lead lap at 13.
He can't see out the left window because the sheet metal's all been up over the side of it. But he's still going.
Kevin Grubb up to 5th in that 54. New sponsor on board, Toys R Us.
You know, he's a good little driver. He drove that 37 car last year, and they put Purvis in it this year. He stepped into this 54 car, and he's been doing a pretty good job in this hot rod. And this is a track he runs well at, too.
Jeff Purvis in the 37. He's back on pit road. Another stop.
In front of this pack, Mark Green now tracking Greg Biffle. That's 3rd and 4th. Steve?
Sorry, down here in the 10 pit.
Good battle at second spot, but Randy LaJoie works to hold off the Mechanicsville, Virginia driver Kevin Grubb.
Now, he's talking about tape on the grill. What happens here is you practice this. It was real cool this morning. You start the race, it's pretty cool. You get over with all this traffic, you find out you got too much tape on the grill, and the temperature's creeping up. You got to do something about it.
Look at Scott Wimmer in a 23 car. He started deep in the field as well, and I talked to his crew chief this morning, Robin Barker, and he said our car is really good on long runs. They elected to stay out that time. He's up here battling Randy LaJoie and Kevin Grubb for the 2nd position. Right now they're a little over 2 1/4 seconds though behind leader Jeff Green. He's starting to get into a lot of lap traffic though.
This place is starting to stand up here watching this start to remind me of that song Disney. I'm so dizzy, my head is spinning. These guys, they're spinning out there, we're spinning up here.
You know, right now, I believe Kevin Grubb is a little bit quicker. Randy got out of shape right there, so it don't matter. I'll say he's a little quicker than Randy LaJoie. He just couldn't get by him.
Nice save by LaJoie.
Yes, it was. Regrouping, goes back to racing forward here.
Bristol stomp.
Kevin Grubb, can you guys really win this thing? Grubb's never won one of these Busch Series races.
Anything's possible. I'm not going to jinx ourselves. I'm just glad to see this Toys R Us car up front, and first race for this team. And I'm just proud to be up front, and I just hope things come out for the best. This top 5 will be good.
Looking good so far. To Steve Burns.
Thanks, Nick. With Wally Rogers, crew chief for Randy LaJoie. Now, while you guys...
Break that record.
Kevin Grubb riding in 2nd place. Remember how he took over that ride? Kelly Denton started the season as the team's driver, and after qualifying and after happy hour at Las Vegas, they let Denton go and put Kevin Grubb in the seat.
But about that crew chief, Tony Lambert, I was wondering where Tony had ended up. Tony Lambert was with Mark Martin for many of his Busch Series wins.
Yes, he was.
And this team owned by Rich Goodwin and Ed Whitaker, who had a lot of wins with his number 7 car.
Well, that's why it's running good here. Ed Whitaker got something to do with that car. It always ran good. Dale Earnhardt Jr. made his debut in the Busch Series in Ed Whitaker's car right here. It's on the outside pole.
Local race day right here from Bristol.
Yeah, so that explains that.
All right, can Jeff Green stay out in front of Kevin Grubb? Scott Wimmer, Jimmy Spencer, and Greg Biffle, the top 5. Then it's McLaughlin and Harvick, Briggs, Wallace, and Todd Bodine. We're back under green.
55 laps to go.
17 cars on the lead lap.
And that's the 17 that aren't torn up. No, I take that back. The 2 cars.
Some of them are.
Oh, man, look at Todd go through there.
Opportunity presented itself, and
man, he took it.
Had to. That or get run over, Darrell.
Yeah, he had to go. Todd's doing a pretty darn good job in that 92 car, and I think that's 66.
Yep.
Casey Mears has cut out a tire.
He hit the wall coming off turn 2. Will have to make his way to pit road. 2 by 2. Green and Grubb, Wimmer and Spencer, and then Biffle by himself.
And I believe Spencer is.
I'm pretty sure he pitted again. Maybe they got low air and they haven't picked it up yet.
Around goes the 54. Grubb, the 2nd place car.
No.
Couldn't save it. Now he's still on the lead lap.
Get your gear, let's go, bud.
No caution yet. No caution.
Still on the lead lap.
Stay on the bottom.
Oh, what a shame.
He's going to really struggle here not to go a lap down. Leader's coming off turn 2 right now. He's going into turn 3. Just getting a terrible pit stop, Mike. They had trouble with the right front. Tony Lambert finally got around to the left front, and they had already taken off the right and the left rear tires. Started to take it off, and then he got to go, and then they know very, very disastrous.
Scott Riggs, the pole sitter, and Shane Meal.
And Butch Hilton, Jeff Green's crew chief, made the move from car chief from Bobby Labonte's Winston Cup team to come be the crew chief on this Busch team and gets his first win as a crew chief.
26 car back here. He gets around on his own. People start taking evasive action. He's coming down the hill. All of a sudden, here comes Michael
right there. Just
there it goes.
Over the left front. Catapults him upside down.
Just turned him right over. Several cars involved. See the 26 car get around right there.
And everybody's trying to crowd down to the bottom,
knowing he's going to go to the bottom of the racetrack.
The 54 car.
Yeah, Kevin Grubb is involved. So is Casey Kane.
Under caution for the first time tonight, Kevin Grubb in the 54. We are just about to brag on him.
He was running 10th, and Steve and I were just talking about him running a pretty good race so far, and the next thing you know, he's around backwards over turn 2, hard into the outside wall.
Kevin Grubb, the last 4 races have been top 10 finishes for him. Started the race 10th this evening.
The thing about the concrete, when your car is loose, it's just not very forgiving. The thing will come around on you unexpectedly. Concrete gives you just a totally different feel than asphalt does. And if your car gets loose on a concrete, it just never lets you know it's going to come around with you.
We can see it came around on Kevin Grubb. No other cars involved in that accident.
Turn 2, Kenny Wallace, the 48 car right there.
Oh, I don't know. It looked like Shane Meal possibly just got into the back of the 10 car.
The 47 car, yeah.
Yeah, got into Riggs. Look at that 2 flipping. Looks like Rusty Wallace's flip in the number 2 Winston Cup car here not many years ago.
And when they hit the grass, it even tumbled more. There's Randy LaJoy. Greg Biffle.
Oh, Biffle.
There's
Jay
Kerry Earnhardt.
There's everybody. Jack
Sprague, our point leader.
And the track's completely
Tim Sauter. All the Sauters.
I think we did the right thing by saying who wasn't in it. Compton is.
Now, Kevin Grubb, who was the car that got into the back of Shane Meal, may have sustained some radiator damage. He is now in the pits, and there's a lot of steam there coming out the overflow.
You see the water blowing up there in front of the right side of the windshield. That's where the overflow tube from the radiator. The reason they put it there, the driver will be the first to see, maybe if it's running hot, spitting water out right there out of that tube.
That leaves 14 cars on the racetrack. Hank Parker Jr. has passed Tim Fedowa for 4th. They are still drafting nose to tail, trying to run down the lead trio of Compton, Keller, and Wallace. There's Parker.
It's pretty good, and we lost, I think, about 3/10 from what we practiced this morning, but I think the track's a little bit different. I think these tires are a little bit on the harder side for here, and they don't fire up real quick. Took us some time to get some heat in the tires when we qualified just then, but happy to be on the top so far. Good run for the Alto car, and hopefully it'll be good for Sunday.
There you go. That's all this guy needs is a good finish. He's had some great qualifying runs lately.
Thanks, Dick. Those are giraffe spots on the side of that car. Kevin Grubb.
Oh, hold her, buddy, hold her. Those are
still giraffe spots. They're almost concrete spots. Grubb is trying to make his first Cup race. Rick Goodwin is the car owner. Car, engine, and everything, though, is leased.
Andy Petrie. Andy Petrie's over somewhat acting like team manager. And actually, the RCR Richard Childress Racing number 2 Busch crew is going to crew the car on Sunday.
It's just not unusual to see this happen here. Get back in the throttle, start accelerating up out of that corner. You really got to pinch the car down off of turn 2 over there, because there's kind of a transition when it comes up on the straightaway. The back end will come around with you. You'll see that over and over again. He did a great job of keeping it out of the fence.
That exit over there, Darrell, it's a tight exit. I mean, you almost run out of racetrack in a hurry.
Oh, yeah. It just kind of the way you come up out of that corner, and it just kind of dumps the car sideways.
So he'll have to go on that first lap of 21.63. That's probably going to be a little borderline.
I'd say that's a borderline case.
And a first-time team has no provisionals. There are 3 part-time teams trying to make the race. Kevin Grubb, Hermie Sadler. I'm going to get it. Provisional land.
Including those 2 backup cars of Busch and Jarrett. Randy Renfro and Kevin Grubb, the 1 car, the only car that goes home. Matt?
Well, Mike Jeff.
Did Kevin Grubb make contact?
Yeah, he's down on the apron. What happened was he got down on the apron, Grubb did, slid up into Sprague. I don't know that he hit him, but he forced him up.
And that apron's a little different transition than the racetrack. You get down there too far, it'll shoot you back up the racetrack.
Got to believe he probably nerfed him.
We've run 12 laps. Why does it feel like 50?
I don't know, I'm out of breath. Well, I'm glad we got a caution. Let's settle down here now. Let's take a deep breath, settle down, and we got a long way to go.
This must be the woogity part.
That's right. Maybe I shouldn't have used those words tonight. Boogie, woogie, woogie must not be too good.
First caution of the night, Jack Sprague, the point leader and pole sitter, has crashed at turn 2.
In the 4th position, I talked to his crew chief, Tony Lambert, who has 2 wins here with Mark Martin. He says he needs about 6 laps of caution before he feels secure that he can go the distance. So right now they're banking on 1 more caution. And by the way, a sidebar to your trivia question, Harry Gant won here 3 straight times with the guy who is currently co-owner on this 54 car. They'd like to start a new trend with Kevin Grubb here tonight to Steve Burns.
Matt, I just spoke with Dan Dittburner, who figures fuel mileage for the 10 car, and Scott Riggs. He said right now they think they can run to lap 250.
His tires closest to the front would be 10th place Kevin Grubb.
Correct. Of cars that pitted that time right there, correct.
Okay.
And Keller, not too terribly long ago, he's got less laps on his tires than Hamilton and Wimmer.
They have about 35 green flag laps. The best friend Bobby Hamilton Jr. has right now is Scott Wimmer.
Exactly, and they're both running well, and tires doesn't seem to be a problem. How about it, Matt?
Well, DW down here in the 54 pit of Kevin Grubb. Tony, he decided just to go gas only. Why not come in for some tires as well?
We're actually faster on used tires. It takes us a while to get going, and we decided just to keep these tires. We took them off a while ago after we made a 100-lap run, and we could actually go probably 250 on a set of tires. So Goodyear's come out with a good tire for here, and I think the Toys R Us car, we got a chance to get up front and run the top 5.
Fresh tires are 42 laps enough. Now, don't forget tomorrow.
Take the point lead, I believe. I think our calculation showed us that earlier. So this is a huge night for that young man.
And for this one, Mechanicsville's Kevin Grubb with 5 to go takes Scott Wimmer to move into the top 5. Fresher tires.
A little bit fresher tires. Yeah, remember Scott Wimmer, like Bobby Hamilton Jr., has been out there since lap 104 on tires. They'll have almost 150 laps. It's really taking a toll on him now. Hank Parker Jr., 36 car. Remember, he was in that big wreck on the backstretch.
Steve, the Toys R Us kid, Kevin Grubb. Your last top 5 came here last fall, another top 5, but you were kind of worried about the tire situation, trying to make it back through all that traffic.
Yeah, I tell you, the Toys R Us car ran great all night on long runs, and you know, we were talking about it there before we had to come in because of gas. You know, it was a heartbreaker because I felt like, you know, we really had a chance to win the race, and you know, but we had to come in, and you know, we were talking about taking 2 tires. I said, hey, you know, why even take 2 tires? Because it was running good on long runs, you know, on old tires. So it worked out pretty good. You know, we ran. You know, with all the guys behind me on new tires, we ended up pulling away from all of them. So Hank Parker came on pretty strong at the end, but he still couldn't, you know, quite get up there. So it was a good pit call by Tony Lambert, my crew chief, and you know, so far it's been a good weekend, except for on the Wins Cup side.
Little Grubb, 5th place tonight here at Richmond. Mike?
As he mentioned, he was 1 spot shy of making the Winston Cup race here tomorrow night. But that day will come. That day will come for him.
Yeah.
You bet. Jason Keller, the winner, his 8th Busch Series victory.
Ron Hornaday out in front, dipping a little farther back in traffic. There's Christian Fittipaldi in the 30 and Kevin Grubb in the 54 racing. That would be for the 9th spot. What a challenge for Christian Fittipaldi. Used to driving champ cars, the Cart open wheel machines, come here to a big old heavy stock car. Qualified 5th.
Christian's got a lot of talent. Here's one of these places, like I said, where you downshift. Some of these guys have a little bit of an advantage because they're used to that.
Dave?
When I talked to Christian earlier, he made reference to that, Wally, the fact that
he doesn't have as many laps as these guys, and that was obvious. But what surprised me was he said the testing schedule that these Busch Series drivers do is more grueling than he ever did in kart, and that was a bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah, that's real surprising because I know the kart drivers, they test a lot. Those cars, when they're not racing, they're testing, and their schedule's gotten pretty brutal.
Mike McLaughlin in the 18 going to pick up a spot from Fittipaldi. There's Scott Riggs in the 10, the yellow car. Remember, he had that hard crash at Chicago last Saturday. Banged up some ribs. Didn't break anything. He just aggravated a rib injury he suffered back in March when he fell off a dirt bike playing around near his house. Ouch. Get hurt in a race car, but, you know, and a dirt bike falling off a dirt bike. But he says he's fine and good to go. Right now, Riggs running back in 12th spot as Fittipaldi has fallen to 11th. There's Jason Keller. Despite that right front fender damage, he's hanging in there in 7th place.
Well, it looks like Christian Fittipaldi.
Kevin Grubb in the 54 trying to get 8th place from Kenny Wallace. And done.
Kenny was pretty happy with his car. A lot of these guys got caught qualifying early. The guys that went out early, I think, suffered because the track was hot, and the guys at the end of the qualifying run, the sun was down. So I think some of these guys in the back got a lot better race cars than we see right now, just because of the bad draw on qualifying.
Here comes Mike McLaughlin to the inside of the Stacker 2 car.
Come on, Kenny.
Jason Keller losing another spot. Kevin Grubb's by him. Behind Hornaday, 3rd place, Kevin Grubb. That yellow 54 car, very solid job tonight for the Mechanicsville, Virginia driver, Glenn.
Yes, it is. He has a real knack for getting around this racetrack. As I think you mentioned earlier in the telecast, Alan, he finished 3rd in this race last year, although it was in another car, in the 37 car that Kevin LePage is running tonight. But Kevin's done a great job. I talked to his crew chief, Tony Lambert, just a moment ago to find out if the car was driving okay. He said, yeah, the car's fine. He said, Kevin just doesn't like to shift here. He is one of those drivers not shifting, and they think that may be the difference in the lap time speeds that he can run versus the 2 cars in front of him. But outstanding job by Kevin Grubb tonight.
And if that left front fender's not bent, then it's one heck of an artfully crafted piece. Yeah. That's a funky looking fender. Greg Biffle has won the Charter Pipeline 250 at Gateway International Raceway. We'll hear from him, some of the other top finishers, when we crank our post-race coverage up after this. Pulled into victory lane here at Gateway International. Cautions out at Dover. 3 cars are wrecked on the front straightaway, but the accident started way back in the middle of 3 and 4, and it involved the championship leader, Greg Biffle.
And Biffle also has some damage in the car, on his car. I don't think as much as some of these other cars, but
yeah, it involved him all right. He started it.
Yeah.
Greg Biffle, there it is. Wow, big left front torn up. Biffle was struggling, fair to say.
But here he is. He's going in the corner behind Larry Gunzelman in the 94 car. And right there is where he makes the contact, spins Gunzelman. He comes down and there makes contact with Kevin Grubb in the 54 car. That's what did the damage. Grubb cannot maintain control of the 54 car, and he spins.
Collects Dion Ciccarelli, and Tim Fedewa comes in with no place to go and gets the side of Grubb. Man. Here come the leaders to pit road. 61 laps, make it 60 laps to go as they make the stops. Marty?
Today is Scott Wimmer start number...
No, I guess it's not flat.
So regroup, guys, with your rivets. Get your rivets. Get your drill ready.
And there you see the contact between Biffle and Gunzelman, and also the contact, and I see now where the damage from the right front came as he made contact with Gunzelman once again. And watch the 431 car. Bam! Nowhere to go, but right in the side of Kevin Grubb.
There you go. That would be the contact that Benny was talking about.
Jump in the line. We got damage left front. Hustle down, hustle down. Big spin behind you. We got damage on the left front and the right front, guys.
Johnny
Got it. Keep coming. Keep coming hard. Keep coming hard.
No, not too hard.
Stay high. Stay high.
Good job, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny. Johnny. Good job, Johnny.
After the accident of a moment ago.
No,
There's the Gunsman in the white car. There's Kevin Grubb, the yellow 54. Dion Ciccarella in the 84, and the 31 is Tim Fiedler. Bam!
Jeff Green barely snuck through there. On the exchange of pits. Uh-oh, we got a car in the wall.
Trouble. Looks like Kevin Grubb.
You know, that car looks almost identical to the 5 of David Green's car, doesn't it? Well, maybe not torn up as bad.
Caution flags out. Third one of the race. And a lot of the crashes that happen here at Homestead end up back end into the wall heavily like that.
Yeah. Now,
Johnny Sauter in the 2, Grubb in the 54, turn 3, and it's not going to work out for Kevin.
It looks like the 2 car got into the left rear.
yeah, it looks like some contact between the 2 that sent the 54 spinning around.
That's never a good feeling, is it?
No, it's always difficult to accept a wreck like that. Been in a situation similar to that.
I was going to say, is he waiting to talk to somebody when they go by like some other guy I saw at the Brickyard this year?
I'm pretty sure he learned a lesson from that as well as I did. It's difficult to say. I mean, the 2 were racing into the corner very, very hard, and on the outside, you can get your right sides up in the marbles very easily, but it looked like he got a little help in the left rear.
What lesson did you learn at Indianapolis?
It's okay when your car's wrecked, as long as you're okay. I mean, there's other days where you can bounce back, I guess. There's not many lessons you can learn. You just have to take a new approach.
Kevin Grubb walking away for the trip to the medical center in the infield. And the checkup for